Spatchcock Nation is in the house. Unfiltered, uncensored, and unapologetically for the people. Turn it up.
Yo, Spatchcock Nation, limited edition episode, y'all. We are so back. Season 2 is up in this thing, man. And we are so pumped to talk about it. So I got my partner in crime here, but let me walk through this in case you don't know. My name is Matt Reed. I'm the Osiris of this shit. I'm the host of the show, and I do a lot of the cooking, most of the cooking, but recipe development with a lot of other awesome people. And my man here, our creative director, my partner in crime, the co-founder, number 24 in your programs, but number 1 in your hearts, the great Alexander DeRosa.
I prefer 12. 12 is my original number. What's the Osiris of this shit mean?
It's a Wu-Tang reference.
Okay, good.
The fact
I don't know all the Wu-Tang. I appreciate Wu-Tang. I don't know all the references.
Acronyms are for what?
Also, we're in a studio.
We are in a studio.
This is way better than the last few Zooms.
Well, the last one, Zoom. I mean, Zoom though, like you could I would be Daffy Duck in it. You know what I mean? I was wearing a shirt and no pants, which I know you like because you're like, can you stand up for a second? I'm like, no, dude, I'm not wearing any pants. So
Daffy Duck.
Daffy Duck, bro. That's how Daffy Duck dresses.
There was one time I was filming a sports team, name, and one of the players was injured, and he came out without the whole bottom half of his. He was wearing underwear and stuff, but he came out and the whole bottom of was just like player from the waist up. It was so weird. I was like, can you just go put on some pants?
Was he wearing like boxers or?
Yeah. But like, come on, man. This is a professional environment.
I mean,
just like you should wear pants if we do stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought pants were optional. That was our original tagline.
No.
Okay, so here's the deal, man. Like, for all y'all that are out there listening to this shit, here's the deal. We have season 2 dropping, or depending on where you are, it might have already dropped. So really awesome. We're in like 48, 50 cities right now, and they stagger when they start. So you might be hearing this before, after, wherever it is, but tune into your PBS station because that's where it's going down, y'all, for real.
Yeah, season 2, we'll get to that, but season 2 is quite up-leveled from season 1, I will say.
Yeah,
we took it a little easy. We didn't know. We want to make sure people could handle the party. Season 2 is aggressive.
So
I love it.
Let's talk about the aggression level because I agree, bro. Like season 1, to be honest with you, the first season was great because people watched it, and now we're in like 3 million homes, which is pretty dope. But at first, I don't know about you, I was kind of like, I don't even know if we can do this. Is this gonna be
Do you ever
good?
think about your face being in 3 million homes? I think about that. We're filming in this kitchen, and I'm like 3 million homes.
Yeah, dude. I don't like thinking about that.
There's like half of them are like, oh, this is so cool. I love to cook, and half of them are like, those tattoos look fake. Or,
we got.
Why is his shirt so tight? Does he work out?
The shirt's tight because I got bicep implants before season 2, but we get a lot of hate watchers too. But I'm cool with that.
Yeah, just like, I enjoy the hate watchers because the hate's usually they haven't thrown any hate at the pop-ups yet. So once those start,
they're coming.
Yeah,
we put more in there. The one hate email that I love though was a guy saying, "I hate this show so much. I've watched every episode twice, and I'm like, dude, we watch it 3 more times. Get more hate. So if you're out there a hater, we love you, dude. Keep going."
Yeah.
So when we started this thing though, we'll get into season 2 and why it absolutely just jumps off the page. But how did we get here in the first place, bro? Like originally we were like, as we said, drunk on a boat. Like we should do a cooking show, and now we're here. So walk me through that.
I feel like our stories are slightly different. I remember, well, one, it started tailgating. We would throw tailgate parties, and actually, I think at the same time it was our softball team. We would throw smokers, and the smoker, it's called a softball smoker, mainly because we wanted to raise money for our team, but we weren't there to raise money for our team. We already paid off the $100 or whatever the $100 was.
And it was a smoker that we actually didn't smoke anything at.
No, it was literally just a party, and we would throw the best smokers out of any teams locally. So all our softball team would show up, all you can drink and eat. And we had profit at one point, and then we would just keep rolling it back in. We would just keep throwing the profit back in because we wanted just the party to
you know what, that is so true about our story. And one of those, let me lay down a couple of facts from that party. One of the party smokers we had, our entire team in our jerseys had to hide in a walk-in cooler because the owner of the bar didn't know that the manager was letting us have the smoker. So we're all waiting there. Another time though too, we had a party that we went through 10 kegs. And the owner's like, absolutely not. And we called them and muscled them. We're like, you're going to give us more kegs.
I remember I was like, Matt, he said no more. And you called him and demanded more kegs. And at that point, it was like, probably could have shut it down, honestly.
Yeah, he could have.
We were no business to be cleaning up things and like,
definitely not.
Whatever. And then at one of them, and this is all important because this is why the party started. One of our friends, one of the people that showed up at the smoker, passed out in the bathroom, and the bartender did the final check and didn't find him. And we woke up the next morning, like, a little hungover, trying to do our thing. And I get a call. Actually, it was like Monday. I get a call from the owner. And he's like, one of your people fell asleep and the alarm went off. And I was like, what? And we figured out who it was. And we're like, oh, that's funny. And he's like, it wasn't funny. I got a call at 5 a.m. And I'm like, I actually saw him recently and we laughed about it. Like, he's like, oh, that was so funny. And I'm like, yeah, that was funny.
That was funny. And
it's a good story.
I think that was the same one too, where it's the first time in my life I've seen someone have their mic caught at a party. And our boy Doe, God rest his soul, was talking about his wife. And man, he was in love because he was like, get over here, girl. Yeah. Come on, baby. At the point where at one point your dad, who was DJ, was just like, we got to
Can we shut this down? Yeah. So the smokers, in my mind, were, between that and the tailgating at SU, we throw the best tailgate parties. And between those two things, we were like good at throwing parties. And I think they turned into a couple like Halloween parties, and we threw a top 6 party where you bring your top 6 songs and everybody kind of compared their music, love of music. And
that was a great
party as well. And so I think all of them just kind of, we knew how to throw parties, and then they turned into themed parties. And we had the Angry Dragon beer pong tournament, which was awesome and had like
20 people.
Yeah. So all of that was kind of the genesis of, we can throw parties and we can cook food.
Yep.
And then, can we film it? Which was, that was the question.
But that worked out.
Yeah.
You know what? I wish we would have filmed a couple of those parties, like the beer pong tournament. Like I remember I think TJ took a picture of the roof and there were people playing strip flip cup while the band is playing, and that was wild. And one of those Halloween parties too, I remember in the neighborhood that we're close to right now, where the party was, Halloween party. The next day, I had to go over there and pick up from the party, and I'm driving down the street, and I saw at least 3 slave Leias doing the walk of shame through the neighborhood. You're like, oh man, I saw her last night.
Yeah. So I think that was the start of it, and I think the push was, there in some way we wanted to start a food truck. There was it was early in the food truck, maybe me more than you, but I wanted to start a food truck, and both of us had jobs, so we weren't actually going to run this food truck. We had to figure out who's going to run it for us. And all of this to say, we were like, we'll film episodes in it. We'll make it, like the movie, Chef. We'll make a big thing out of it. And so at one point, we were just like, screw it, let's just do it.
Yeah.
We just went. I remember the first episode we filmed before the actual first one.
The one in your kitchen.
Yeah, we edited one in my kitchen, and it was about 45 minutes long. I think it came out good. It looked good, but ultimately it was like,
it was one recipe
really
for 45 seconds, and we're filming like chopping the meat. But you know what though? I got a feeling though at that point though that we might have something cool, because after you shot that and edited it, we were on a plane to Chicago because we were going out there to go to a Cubs game and party up. And you sat next to this woman on the plane, and she watched the entire 45 minutes and bought us beers. I'm like, oh shit, maybe.
And she said it was funny. She laughed.
She did laugh.
It wasn't pity laughs. It was actual laughs.
At first, I was like, I don't know if it's because she thinks he's cute, but then I was like, or she thinks he's a terrorist on this plane, so like she's just trying to save herself. You know what I mean?
Be nice, yeah.
She was the air marshal.
I'll spare her.
Yeah.
But that first episode was long. We never released it, but I did in season 2. We cut a little throwback of it.
Yeah.
I think you had a fedora on and full New Orleans garb.
Yeah. And we actually made that very recipe in the finale of season 2. So It's pretty dope, this jambalaya. So then we ended up with the YouTube show, and we're like, yo, if people watch this, people will keep watching it, and then we'll keep making it. And we ended up on TV because of our girl Melanie Johnson, man. Shout out.
Yeah. And I don't know that we didn't even know if people were watching it at first.
Totally.
We were just filming it, having fun in your garage. And the whole point was we can hang out and have fun. Worst case, nothing happens and we made a bunch of food, drink beer, film some stuff, have a couple hard drives full I can, trash. But it didn't, and we made it on TV. And even at that point, we were on TV for a year before we even knew that people were watching it. I mean, we just assumed. We knew our people close to us were watching it. But there was a lot of, you weren't getting recognized in stores.
Nah, not at first. But then when it was on, around the year mark though, that's when I started to get recognized sometimes, like grocery shopping.
And then there was the fake recognition period where you were like, yo, this person came up to me, and I'm like, they just wanted to ask you a question. Well, no idea who you
I think what happens is people see your pop-up on there, and they're like, oh, that guy's the asshole from the show. Like, we don't want to be around him right now. Or they're like, he's the boss. We don't want to get this guy in trouble.
Yeah, no, but I think people would come up to you just ask you like general questions in a store.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Oh my God, can I sign? What can I sign?" And they're like, "Nothing. I just
Yeah,
want to know where this is."
Well, the worst one was I was in a coffee shop and this guy's looking at me and it's very clear that he recognizes me. So he's like, "Hey, I think I know you from somewhere." And I'm like, "Yeah, oh yeah, I have a TV show." And he goes, "No, that's not it. Are you Stephanie Crockett's husband?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am, dude."
That's the best.
Yeah.
So the name. Let's talk about the name because everybody asked us why we came up with this name. We had a list, and I think it was the trip to Chicago, and Matt handed me. Actually, it was before that.
Maybe Austin. Maybe
We had a list of names, and we wanted something unique. We didn't want something that people were like, "Oh, Matt's cooking show" or "Matt's recipes." Just a general name. We needed something that had a blend of music, culture, arts, things we love that we bring into the show quite a bit, and then cooking.
Yeah.
And all the cooking up till that point was unique ways. Like you'd add bacon to random things, and which everybody does now.
Yeah.
But in general, we needed a unique cooking name, and we wanted it to be like a little edgy. We wanted people to, if for some reason we ended up on TV at that point, we were like, if people see this on the channel guide or see this on anywhere, they're gonna stop because they're gonna think it's either highly inappropriate and they want to just check it out, or they're curious.
For sure.
And so the list of names was awesome. I mean, there was a lot of good ones, and we chose this on the plane, I believe.
Yeah, we did. I think what originally happened was those names were, I mean, some of them were really good. The one that I love that you vetoed for the right reason because they never put it on TV was Sex, Drugs, and Lobster Rolls. But the idea behind that was, like you said, it makes something sketchy. Well, I guess it is catchy, but a little tongue-in-cheek. And you said it best, too, because some people pretend they can't pronounce Spatchcock. Like, you know how to pronounce it.
I love that. At first, I was like, oh, man, maybe this name, because the way that everybody treated it. But now we get people that say it, and they're like, Spatch Funk. And you're like, what? Like, it's a word. Like,
you know what it is.
You know, like there's a network called Peacock, and people say that with no problem.
Yeah,
you can say Peacock all day long. There's other places that word is used, but Spatchcock is, I get it. It's a little.
I like it though. Like, well, one, when they're saying that, I'm kind of like, it's kind of like, I kind of want to have sex with you, but I don't want to admit it. Like, all right, dude. I mean, not to that level, but they want to act like they don't know what it is, but they know what it is.
I almost want to shame them in that moment. Like, come on, you can say the word, say it.
Yeah.
I remember at that one party, we were going to get the crowd chanting, when I say Spatch, you say.
Yeah, dude.
And I wanted to get them going because they need, and then there's some people, and early on, people wanted us to change our name because it wasn't appropriate. It would never make it further than where it was. We didn't. And we were not unwilling. It was just, listen, right now we have some brand equity in this name at the smallest level that we have it. Yep. There's no point unless there's money to change it at this point. If you guys want to name it something different, we can name it something different. But we kept it, and now we're seeing. I mean, we're at this show with a bunch of smart scientists, and they're dropping it left and right, and they're saying it. It's becoming normalized in a way, and that's crazy. And that's crazy because I don't know how you developed. Matt came up with the name. I don't know how you developed it. I think you just wrote 2 words on a piece of paper. It sounded cool together.
ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the other name that you wanted too was 2 Boys, 1 Cup, but I didn't think that was going to fly either. But the name though, so I think actually it started with you wanted to have like a cooking term in there, right? So that's the Spatchcock part of it, and the funk we brought up because of the Rage Against the Machine cover of Africa Boombastics, Renegades of Funk. So that was cool. But the name, though, it was just fun to say, and people would be like, you can't say that. Like, why?
Right. You can say it, and you're right. Like, it's a blend of everything we do. Our pop-ups, our recipes all have a music.
Yeah.
There's music involved. There's lyrics you drop during the, all of it's related to arts, culture, music. And so combining those 2 things, which I don't think a lot of cooking shows do. I don't think a lot of cooking shows bring in pop culture and those things into that.
You know what? I don't know that they do either, or at the rate at which we do it. And they don't have music going through the entire time. And by the way, this isn't talking any trash. There's cooking shows we absolutely.
There's also probably a reason they don't.
Yeah,
we haven't figured out yet.
Well, what I think partly too is like people like Molly. Yeah, is just much classier and better at this than we are. So we're like, okay, cool. Let's just try to trick them with some music. But after Melanie gave us a shot, and she loved us in the name, by the way, and she's awesome. I feel like most of our big breaks have come from women and people that were just giving us a shot. But then it caught on, and then we ended up getting picked up on PBS here in Syracuse and WCNY, and then, you know, Rochester, Buffalo, and then other places picked it up. In the first season, I mean, we were in like 30 markets, I think, right?
Yeah, and we weren't sure how many markets were going to get dropped originally, and then they just kind of once someone picks it up, someone else picks it up, and it's kind of a chain effect. But PBS was not everybody's like, oh, PBS, you guys don't seem right for PBS. And the reason we're on PBS is because they know that they have a very young audience and a very old audience, and we're kind of closing that gap. And there's a lot of shows across the country that are doing the same thing, and, you know, Austin City Limits and these shows that they're trying to pair us up against, so they'll start to attract a younger audience because they need to be sustainable.
And I mean, we over-index in that demographic they're talking about. But you know what, though? I mean, we're educational and informational. That's true, and I like to think entertaining. And we bring a little bit of that social message in there. So I think that's worked. And I think one of the things that makes me feel really good about this was one of the cities that was pitched for the show in season 1 was like, absolutely not. We're not ever going to put something like that on TV. And then they picked us up for season 2. So that made me feel like, okay, this is working. You know what I mean?
Right. They haven't hit play yet.
They haven't seen season 2.
They haven't actually seen season 2.
So let's talk about season 2, because one of the things that when we started this thing, and we, you know, even though it sounds like we're two idiots doing stupid stuff, we obviously take this real seriously, real seriously. So like we made like brand guidelines and things we talk about. One of them was always having fun was part of it. And for some parts of this season, I felt like when we were shooting it, it wasn't even real. Like we're partying with the Buffalo Bills. Like we are doing stuff like whipping Jeeps down off-roading tracks. Like I was like, how are people giving us money to just hang out and party? So I felt like we really captured that.
Yeah, and in season 1, one of the concerns I said was eventually we're going to run out of these ideas. And Matt's like, absolutely not, we're going to run out of ideas. I'm like, we'll have variations of them. But so season 1, I don't want to say it's the low-hanging fruit, but like, you know, poker night and concert tailgate and things that we do, and they're great. But they were ones that people, I think, could resonate with. And season 2, what we wanted to do was push it up a level. Like, you can still throw this party. You might not take ATVs in the woods and do what we were doing.
But you should.
But you could go for a picnic and you could eat this food. Or you could go out somewhere cool. Like in season 1, we had a really cool picnic episode where we climbed to the top of this really awesome view and had this amazing view. So all of these could be related. You could do it in your backyard if you don't want to go ATVing. If we're throwing a masquerade party and in season 2 called the Voodoo Masquerade, and we throw it in the Landmark Theater, this beautiful theater. You could throw it in at your house.
Yeah,
you could have a
absolutely.
cool masquerade party, and the food all crosses all that. We just want to show. We want you to see our party at the end of the day and be like, that looks awesome. I want to hang out with them. Or I could see my friends doing this.
Yeah, and I mean, I do believe that we captured that because we had people like, yo, invite me to the next party. And you could see that the vibe was working because when you're watching some of the party scenes, when you're there, though, at one point, like, it's a nightmare to get all of our friends to calm down. Like, yo, okay, everybody quiet in the set. They're like, no, dude, like, I just took a shot off of this ice rooster luge. And
you're feeding me alcohol.
Yeah. This girl's dancing on a table. Like, bro, like, let me be.
And no one is ever quiet. It's like they're whispering, and it slowly gets louder. Specifically, my wife, April, she knows that for a fact. She's always and there's a couple of them. Your wife too. Stephanie is. But we have her and April. When they get next to each other, we always have to separate them because they have to be with people that don't talk as much.
What's funny is they're great at controlling the crowd, but they're also the biggest problem.
Yeah.
It's like, but also one of our story scenes. So in the French Maid, which is one of my favorite episodes because it's super high end cooking, which was fun to make. But the story scene, you think it's going to be good because it's Stephanie, April, and myself, but also that could have gone sideways because those two could just be like talking for like an hour.
And that one, I was in the background making the noise.
Yeah.
Well, I got the dirty looks back.
It feels weird.
Yeah, I know it feels weird, but I think what you were saying is like the fact that we get to do this cool stuff. One, someone's paying us for it. We get to go throw these cool parties. We get to. I mean, we have crazy ideas for season 3. Of course, season 2 even drops.
Yeah.
But we get to go, and everybody in the community is allowing us to do this. They're like, yes, come do this. They're not like, no, how dare, like I would never let you guys just randomly drive ATVs around my property. Like they're all open to being part of this, which is cool.
Those two things there that you just hit on are something that I think about all the time that make me feel really proud of what we're doing and happy about it. The first one is the community, like you're saying, like people are like, oh, can you shoot this in my restaurant? Can I be in an episode? that is really great because that's what the show's about, is creating community. And the other thing too that I think about a lot is those ideas that we had for season 2 and now season 3 and in the future. What I'm finding is this thing that I think that most human beings, I hope, get to experience. It's when you start learning, like, oh shit, I can do this. Like, I didn't know I could do that. And then all of a sudden now, like, we could never, could we shoot? Like, how would we get something connected with the NFL? Well, all of a sudden now we shoot with the Buffalo Bills, right?
Yeah.
With their logos.
And we saved that for season 2 because we knew we needed to have a little
More
traction.
skill.
Yeah, because we weren't going to come to them with no show yet. And even when we started with PBS, the fact that, like, obviously I have a background in video and I know how to film stuff and we have an awesome crew, but like, we've never done a cooking show, and we've done recipes and even Matt's shirts to what he wears and the food and how the food connects with itself throughout the episode. And there's so many challenges that we were not expecting. But I will say, to the point of the community, like being able to go to, in the season 2, we filmed at a YMCA. They're open to letting us jump in their pool. And I think we got some negative comments of like, there's no cannonballing in the YMCA. How dare you guys? We're like, whatever. So we're able to go do all this fun stuff. And the coolest part of all of this is that we get to bring our family and friends along for the ride, and they look forward to it, even though most of the shoot they're hanging out, being quiet and kind of, but they get to meet new people. So we're bringing in all these new friend groups that are new friends for us, that we might know someone, they bring 5 people, and all of a sudden they're at every episode, and then our friends are friends with them, and then it becomes this big, cool friend group that is hooked by our show. And that's a really cool part of it.
I so agree. And you know what? The thing is, I want to shout out everybody that is listening to this, if you are, and that watch the show, for taking a shot on us, because that's what this has been about. Like, us taking a shot at something that we think can be cool. But people like our guy, Mitch Gelman, our partners thing at WCNY, took a big shot. Like, this is a risky...
Let us swear, like some of the
double entendres,
it's funny
triple entendres.
The first time we were reviewing season 1, like the only review we've had of our show so far is I send to Matt, maybe one of our wives watches it, maybe a friend watches it, but like really I'm sending it to Matt saying, yep, like we're good. That's our review. And then if we have a sponsor, we'll send it to them, and usually those ones are a little lighter. So we're sitting at a conference room table and they're like, hey, this one joke, and we're like, well, what was it? One joke was a little off color. Like, well, what was the joke? I can't imagine. Oh. And it was for a whiskey or a boozy whipped cream. And we were making it to go on that drive-in movie theater episode. Yeah. And we're like, yeah, what about it? And they're like, well, you said if you have enough, you could give it to your kids so they go to sleep after. You can use leftovers. And we both laughed. And we're like, the whole conference room, people were like, oh, okay, I could see how that isn't appropriate, but we're like clearly joking. Yeah. And we're like, so, we added a pop-up that says, Matt's not allowed to babysit my kids. I think worked.
I'm surprised. I think it worked too. I'm surprised that we got that through, but back to the taking the shots on us, that's where it is. And I remember one of the, I thought you were going to reference another time that we did cut something out of it. We were making a blonde roux, and the joke, and because we're sex positive and feminist and stuff, that gives us that leeway to make those type of jokes. But we're making the blonde roux, and I'm like, oh, sometimes blondes taste better, which obviously is an innuendo. And there was an email from that person that was checking it, and they were like, I just want to clarify, is this a cunnilingus joke? And I'm like, now it sounds gross when you say that. Yes, it is an oral sex joke, yeah. He's like, I think we should cut that out. I'm like, okay, don't ever use that word. Now you made me feel dirty.
There's a lot of them, and I think that, typically PBS has an older audience, and I think older people love dirty jokes. I think sometimes they hide it, and they don't, but they love it. And they love because most of the shows they're watching there's none of that in there. And so I think they love the fact that it's in there, and they could be like, oh, wow, I can't believe you said that. And then once they know that you're going to say that, they look for it.
I think so too. I know that, one of my favorite parts, which we added more of for season 2, are your pop-ups that have a lot of jokes in there. But this, my wife and I were having dinner the other night, and these 3 women came up to us. That was cool. They're sisters that watched the show together, and they're like, oh, we love the show, which is really, this always feels so awesome and special to hear. And they're like, we love the guy in the pop-ups. And they kept talking about the pop-ups, and I'm like, shit, we should cut those pop-ups, man. I don't want to hear that shit anymore. But that's my favorite part of the show. Like those, you'll hear a joke, and then you'll have something else come in there. And at one point, you're like, wow, man, these guys just made 4 jokes in 20 seconds.
We need to add a credit in the end so they know who's the pop-ups. They don't know.
Yeah.
We need to have my name pop-up director. Director of pop-ups.
Maybe the new intro should be the pop-up guy.
Let me ask you this. what is the hardest part of this show so far for you? Because not the whole show for the PBS show, because again, we go from 3-minute episodes where we just have to connect, A to B. It's got to get to the end of the episode. All the references have to make sense within a 3-minute time frame. And then when we film the second one, which we do like about 4 in a day, we could just erase everything that we did in that for the most part.
Totally.
How has this been harder?
Well, there's 2 answers for that for me. Like
I only want one.
Okay, well, then not the technical part, like organizing it and like remembering and getting things set up. But for me, the hardest part is making sure, like, when we're doing it's got to feel right, because at the end of the day, it's got to feel real, right? So for me, it's also the funnest part, though. Like, oh, is that good? Like, how are people responding to this? Is it real, though? Like, so it's just the hardest part's the best part, is like making it authentic and be like, this is some real shit.
Yeah, authenticity, obviously everybody uses that word and wants to be.
Yeah, but we use it the right way, though.
Yeah, like we truly want to be. And obviously when we're filming stuff, you have to like make concessions at times, but it's all real things we would do. And when we actually shoot these party scenes, and I don't know how other people do it, but when we actually shoot these party scenes, they're real parties. And I think, there's like a, hey, pretend you're talking, be quiet, but they're actually talking about stuff, and they're actually like in a conversation with friends, and it's a real party scene. And at the end of it, we actually have a real party, which is the best part.
I think there's so many things about the party scenes that really are real. Like, we've had people get injured, multiple injuries, which that's probably not that cool. I think somebody got pregnant at one of the party scenes. Like, it is like just capturing the real thing, and that is I just don't see that in other places.
Yeah. And we try to make sure that everyone, which is challenging at times, because you want everybody to come. They only know how to party. These people are not actors.
They do know how to party.
Like, they're not actors, and we don't expect them to be. They know how to come to a party and hang out and have fun. And as long as we keep the fun, so we have to look at it 2 ways. We have to look at it multiple ways, which is really hard for me.
Yeah.
Is we're looking at it from the visual side, making it look good. It has to look good. The food, in most cases, it does taste good, but it doesn't have to. It just has to look good.
Yeah.
And it has to, and so with the party scenes, it's different because you have to feed them the food. So they have to taste it. It has to look good. The presentation, timing of it all, and we have to make it look good on camera, and we want everybody to have fun. So at the end of the day, we have the party that we have to worry about. Like, do we have food for these people? Like, I remember at the pool party, which is our first episode, it's called Slippery When Wet. And it's funny, my daughter, Amelia, without knowing really what the term of that, thinks that's the funniest name out there. Like, cracks up every time I say it. And it's the first episode. It's like our first party of the season that we threw. It's a 2-day ripper. And I remember we had everybody over like inside after at this beautiful house. And we were like, we don't have food for them. Like, I think you brought a half tray of baked ziti that was enough for 3 people.
Yeah.
But like, we didn't have food. So we had to send out, and we had to get more food. And at that point, listen, we need to make profit and we need to make money. But like, these people took their time. We're going to buy food. We're going to buy more alcohol. We're going to have fun. And because they took their time out of their weekend or whatever, it was like right before the 4th of July too. And they're here, and so it's important that they have a good time. Yeah,
that party was an absolute banger. People in the hot tub, everything was nuts on that. But the other thing about the season 2 thing that I think is so great too are the story scenes, and all of those stories are real stories. But it's funny that we're talking about that authenticity aspect of it. Last night, I went out. You and I were texting about it, but I went out to watch the basketball game. I decided to coin flip it and not go to the game. So I'm at this bar where there was also a furry party going on, like, which playing the snow.
So good for you on both levels.
Yeah, everything was hitting for me. And this person came up and was asking about the show and everything, and they were like, so the stories though, like, you guys make those up? I'm like, no, man, those are all real stories.
It'd be incredibly hard to make those up.
Well, some of those stories though, like some of the things that happen and this is one of the things that I feel very blessed about partnering with you and with our friend group. There are things that, like, stories we tell or situations we get ourselves into that if you saw in a movie, you'd be like, that's not real. That would never happen in real life.
Right.
And that's exactly how it happens.
Yeah, and all these, and the reason we're doing, and we're basing these episodes off things we've done or would do, and we have stories around them. And so the whole hope is that you hear the story, you watch this episode, you see the food, and you see the fun that we have, and they're like, I want to do that. And the whole point of the show, which we didn't really touch on, is that you have all these friends and family, and life gets busy, and you need to make the time to do these things with them. And so whether you do it when you're younger, but when you're older, you stop doing it as much. But you need to find ways to have fun and do and go on adventures like off-roading. I mean, I won't lie, like it was a little terrifying being in the back of that thing. I was getting thrown around. I think at one point we went off-roading in this field, and I was in the back of a Jeep. So when we say off-roading, it was ATVs or side-by-sides, right? And Jeeps.
Yep.
So I was in the back of a Jeep, and I realized, like, it was the first run at it, I was like flying around, like it was metal on metal and then on me, and I was just bouncing around the back, trying not to hurt myself. And then I was probably looking pretty terrified, and I look up in the drones right there, and I'm like, shit, this drone's filming me. This is like the money shot, and I look like I've never done this before in my life.
Yeah. Well, you know what, though? That's one of the things that I love about you as a human and why you're so awesome to work with on the show, man. Like, you want to teach yourself how to play hockey. You did. You built an ice skating rink in your backyard. You're basically like, let me do it, and I'm just going to see what happens. And this season does that. There's so many things that we're like, let's just see what happens, and you've been able to do that. Like, and that's really big. So I'm looking forward to, like, we've talked about how many awesome stuff is in season 2. What are the things you're looking forward to for the future of this brand after season 2? Like, we're about to shoot season 3. We're talking with big sponsors. We've got a lot of stuff going on. What are the things that you're excited about?
Well, one, I'm looking forward to shooting season 3. I think it would be so just for everybody, we film from like May to, I mean, in theory, we try to be done by October, but we film from May to December. I mean, it's pretty much most of the year. And then the other time we're kind of wrapping up stuff and getting it loaded and all that stuff. So we've done it for 2 years, and it's felt like it went by really fast. And all of our friends are like, when are you having another party? When are you having another party? Because it really takes up most of our summer. Like we went to a cool Foo Fighters concert in New York, and we do like stuff, and there's trips and stuff involved that's not just Spatchcock Funk, but it takes up a lot of our summer, and it's like literally every weekend we have something to do, and it's something fun.
Yeah.
So like I'm looking forward to that. Like I think if we weren't to do it for some reason, we'd be like, what are we supposed to be doing during the summer? And so it's been a lot of fun to do that. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to as we release season 2, I'm the biggest critic of everything we do, because visually I'm looking at it like, oh, I should have shot this differently, or this sucks, or whatever. Yeah. Because I'm just overcritical of it. I really love season 2. I think season 2 is awesome. There was a lot of episodes in season 1 which came out really good, and most people were like, oh my God, like in my opinion, the worst episode I think people love. Yeah. And it's in season 2, I don't think there's one of those. I don't think I could pick a worse episode. So I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to it being released. Looking forward to hearing feedback on it, and all these, and I'm looking forward to growing. Like we want to get the word out in different markets, and we want to be kind of grow this thing into a brand that we can, I don't know, just expand upon it and do full time. Yeah. I'm excited about that too, and looking forward to being able to focus on that and only that. I'm excited about the cookbook, and I'm excited about the cool merchandise and the design and the mascot that you brought to the table with our guy across the pond. And spoiler alert, we're releasing a cool mascot, which is going to be pretty badass. Super, super dope. I'm excited about that. I'm excited that people got tattoos at one of our parties. Like 40 people got tattoos because they wanted to hang out and party with us, which is awesome. And I'm also excited about, though, like where it's going, like those parties. And season 3 I'm excited about, but what makes me so happy are the people that just want to be a part of, like, yo, when can I be another one? Like, how can I do that? And we want to share that love with the people because it's so real. But I'm also excited and scared in a good way of what we're going to do next. Like the season 2 stuff, we blew the doors off it. And season 3, I mean, we're meeting pretty soon to discuss ideas for that. And some of those ideas I think are intimidating. There are things that we would do in real life, but it's not that the parties are intimidating because we do all those things in real life, off-roading, going to football games, tailgating. But how do you actually shoot it and make it look real and be captured? That's that's honestly, it's actually the most stressful part and the most fun part at the same time. Yeah. It is something that stresses me out constantly, but like it is the most fun part of like, so in season 2, we have this episode called Float On, and it's we almost killed someone. We almost killed someone, but we're basically floating down a river, and it's like a lazy river tubing, and I've done that a bunch of times before. And I think when I pitched it, and we were talking about it for season 1, I'm like, there's no way we're gonna be able to film this. Like, we have to get this on it. We have to figure out how to film any of these before we film one where we're in the water the whole time. And so I think when I pitched it to you, you had a complete different idea of what I was saying than I did.
Totally.
And so we were like, listen. And so we brought a crew of ours. We're like, without cameras, we're like, we got to scout this river because I know what's up, and I know that every time I'm on that river, I crash.
Oh my
and I
God.
fall like the river moves pretty fast at times, and it moves slow at other times, and there's always it always pushes you into something, and you get clotheslined by a tree branch or something. And so I was aware of it, but I'm like, how are we gonna do this with cameras and expensive gear? And so we brought these guys on, and they were not ready for what we about. Like, the water was a little high, but I said to them, we were on tubes, we were all tied together, and I said, listen, we have these little paddle. You have to paddle at some point. We had beer with us, which, made it fun, but within 5 seconds, I don't even think 5 seconds, probably like the first time we went on, we were going down the river, we crashed hard into a tree branch because this guy's grabbing a beer, someone else is leaning back like this, like they're like, relaxing. I'm like, guys, we're moving hard. Like we're moving in a direction that's not gonna stop.
Yeah.
And we hit this tree branch, and we all went underwater, and the tube's tied, and we lose. Everybody lost like all their stuff within seconds. And then I think at that point, everybody like, wow, this is what we're doing.
But yeah, dude. Even then, that day. So even though we, I guess, are painting ourselves looking like idiots, we're professional, man. Like, we go scout stuff and we do stuff the right way and make things happen. But sometimes that part of it's the fun part. Like the story you're talking about, besides getting to that, then I remember Jeremy, like, we were taking pictures of him because he's stuck in the middle of the river.
He was stuck, yeah, down the river. And you're right, it is the fun part. Like, it was definitely dangerous at one point. Like, because the way, I mean, it can be dangerous in any of those scenes, but like at the end of the day, looking back on the shoot versus that,
yeah,
the shoot was fun, but like, there was people working and doing things and trying to catch us in different parts as we're floating on this river. The actual scout was probably more fun because of the people we had in the environment.
Yeah, I mean, that crew, our crew is just, they're awesome people to hang out with. And I mean, what's great about our crew is that those are our actual friends. Like, this is what we do in real life. Now we're just shooting it. Like, Nick ran over a person. That guy was fishing and he ran him over.
In a kayak and ran over because you can't control yourself on a kayak. Like, he had a kayak too.
Yeah.
But you're right. I think that's an important point. It's like everybody that works on our show is our friends.
Yeah.
We've worked with most of them in other capacities throughout our life. And
that's why we don't mind putting them in harm's way.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, cool. If he dies,
yeah,
whatever,
they won't sue us.
We know his family. They'll be like,
cool.
they're cool.
Yeah. So we get to bring them along. It's not just I've been on a lot of sets, and a lot of sets are not fun. A lot of sets are a great time. A lot of sets are like contentious and like, I don't know, people are arguing and it's like a hierarchy of who touches what camera and this and that. At our sets, I hope, and I'm saying this, and they might be like rolling their eyes if they were here, but are fun.
Yeah.
And they all enjoy being around each other. They look forward to the next shoot. They get to hang out too. Like, we make sure that, and after the crew is hanging out with us and having some beers and eating food and trying things and talking to people, and they know all the people that are coming. And so it has potential. It already is, but it has potential just to be even greater. And the friend group goes bigger and bigger as we go, even when we film in other cities at some point here.
Yeah, and we will be filming in other cities and showcasing those areas the way we showcase this area. But the way we operate as a crew is awesome. Like, and I know it's frustrating for you, but I know that we're having a good time and the shoot's working out. When all of a sudden, Todd, our sound guy, me, and Nick, we'll be like bullshitting and talking. You're like, yo, guys, come on, like, we're in frame here, let's go. You know what I mean? That's when I know that like the feel is right, the vibe is on.
Well, my instinct is always, hey, I have hard drive space that's literally all these cameras are recording, and a hard drive space is just getting eaten up while you guys are telling some ridiculous jokes. But it is important that happens on the shoot, and so we build enough time. We're getting better at it, and it is hard, but we get better at it because then you've got a lot of people that come show up to the parties that want to talk and hang out, which we want to.
Totally.
And so half of the battle is kind of keeping Matt focused and keeping other people focused because everybody wants to just hang out and talk, but we're trying to shoot a show. And so it's hard, and we have both sides of it. So I think all of our friends are starting to realize how this works now, and it's becoming, a lot of fun.
I think that's the truth, man, and it's only going to get more fun. And when the cameras go up, and then people come over that are in our episodes now that weren't even planning to be in it, they see the party, they're like, I want to be in this, is awesome. So as we're wrapping this thing up, what's the biggest thing you want to share with the peeps that are out there, babe?
That's a good question. I mean, one, depending on when this airs or you watch this podcast, the season 2 is going to be awesome. So feedback is always important. Like,
yes,
even though we can handle bad feedback, we can handle good feedback. We definitely handle good feedback. If you love it, share it. If you don't like parts of it, tell us why, because I think there's a lot of it. We're so close to it every day. And so we talk about it. I mean, me and Matt are doing this every single day. It's not just, it's a part-time thing, but it's a full-time gig that we do as much time as we can fit in. And so like, we're very close to it. We're very close to the stories. We're very close to all the things. And so if it doesn't make sense, we always want to know, and we want to be able to fix it and make it great. Because at some point, this is going to be, we're pretty confident this is going to be on, every city on PBS, bigger networks, whatever it is, it's going to be bigger. And we're going to be selling a lot of cool stuff, and it's going to be, we want it to be more than just a show. We want to have other spin-off shows. We want to have other food trucks. Like I would love to be able to post on social media. We have the pop-up food truck in the middle of Philadelphia, and we get people
come out and party.
And not just because we want social media growth, whatever it is, it's because we want to go hang out in different cities, and we want to shoot content and serve people food and do that. I mean, that's the dream. And so buy some merch. We have a lot of merch. We have a lot of cool merch coming out. Yeah,
super cool new design stuff. And I want to end it with this too, man. Following up on what you just said, like besides our families, it's like we're dedicating our life to this because we love it so much and we have so much fun doing it. And all the people that watch it is the reason why we do it. And that's not like some bullshit like, oh, because of these people. Like, it's real. Like, this is actually how we live and what we do. And I'm just so grateful that we're able to keep doing it. So now, thank you for watching it, because we are going to blow the fucking doors off as we keep going forward. We got some crazy ideas, whether it's hot air balloons or Alex also wants to do like a LARPing episode, but we'll see where that comes out.
And hot air balloons is actually a real idea, but like in my mind, I'm not super afraid of heights, but I'm kind of afraid of heights. Like, I think up there without control over it, and Matt's talking about cooking on the fire, and like, I don't want Matt touching the fire on that thing. The fire has one job in my mind. It's keeping us directionally safe.
Right in there, but there's no direction, bro.
They'll be like, sir, could you stop roasting shish kebabs over this fire? It's gotta fully direct itself to the balloon.
You literally let the wind take you, dude, and that's what it's all gonna be about.
Yeah, it will be an interesting one if we do it.
So hopefully y'all are still listening, and you're gonna have a hot air balloon crash in your backyard, but we'll bring beers with you, y'all. So Spatchcock Nation, what's up? Awesome. We'll see you later. Season 2 coming out right meow.